Okay, so we're still talking about mitigation strategies for earthquakes. So now I wanted to get another idea from you guys as to something we can do to decrease the shaking of this building. What can we do to make it so that it doesn't shake when we have an earthquake?
You might be able to reinforce the base.
Okay, so I hear reinforce the base. And that is the right approach, but I think kind of the wrong words. What you want to do, I think what you're wanting to do is to keep the base from shaking, and then thereby you're going to keep the top from shaking, right? And the idea is to somehow dampen or diminish or completely eradicate the shaking from the earthquake from translating to the building. All right, so we know that the building is sitting on a foundation, and we want to somehow isolate that foundation from the shaking of the earthquake. So what people do, what engineers will do, is they will incorporate these things called base isolators, okay? And these base isolators are generally very large foundations that are made of some sort of material that absorbs and diminishes shaking rather than translates it. So what type of material do you think would work well there? Any idea? Rubber is one that works very well because as shear waves moves through it, it actually breaks, so it doesn't translate the shaking. This is very similar. The idea is of an air hockey table. So you know how an air hockey table has the puck, you know, and then the puck will move over it even though the table is not moving. And the reason it does that is because you have this air that comes up. Well, the same idea is here, except in this case, we're having the table actually move under a stable puck. So these are typically made of rubber. They're typically very large rubber bushings, and base isolation is the concept. Did you have a question?
Yeah, how do they, how do they actually get the concrete into the rubber? How does this, how does that really support it?
Yeah, so this isn't actually concrete and rubber. What you'll have is a concrete footing, and then on top of it, you'll have the base isolator, which is usually a very thick rubber bushing, something about this thick and then something very wide. And then the structural member will be seated in that. So as the concrete shakes, you have tears that happen in the lower part of this rubber bushing. And the tears gradually get less and less and less as you move towards the foundation because of the way it diminishes shaking rather than amplifies it. So this is going to not completely negate the shaking, but it's going to significantly decrease it.
Can we go ahead and write those two mitigation strategies?
Sure. Base isolation. Oh, you going to do it in the right colors? So we had base isolation. And we had cross bracing. And we're going to talk about one more in the next video that I find to be the coolest one.